Hey guys, it's Keaton again with another pepper review today. So as you saw in the thumbnail, I got some peppers in the mail from Matthew Arthur, my great friend and master grower within the community. Anytime you see a pepper with MA on it, you know it's going to be a hot one or a really awesome creation. So shout out to him again. Appreciate you sending me these, Matthew. Thank you so much. But I have a couple different varieties that you saw in the thumbnail that I'm going to be eating on camera. So Ahi Charapita, a little bit bigger than the ones I grew. His are out of the garden in the ground. And mine were just in a small little, like 3-gallon pot. So that was Ahi Charapita. This is some kind of white ahi. Not sure if it's just like a white Ahi Charapita. And then I have, interestingly enough, I thought this was really cool. I'd never gotten my hands on any of them. So these are called the Purple Wartrix. So somewhere in his garden, either by accident, it got pollinated to create a purple Wartrix. Not sure if he just planted something next to a Wartrix that was purple and pollinator got to it. But Purple Wartrix. And then just for reference, I'm not sure if you can tell on camera the difference. It looks like this one's a little bit more red in the lighting I have here in front of me. Maybe you guys can tell a difference. But it's glistening because I washed them recently. But Purple Wartrix, regular Wartrix, just from the look of it. This is another one that's more darker. You could probably kind of see it. A little similar, more similar in this one. And then, aside from that, I got a garden cross. And this was planted, I believe, just in the middle of the pepper patch, he said, and right next to the warthogs, the Wartrixes, and the Purple Gator jigsaws, just in the middle of the garden. And it looks like, to me, this could possibly be a warthog crossed with like a Purple Gator jigsaw and something else, because it's possibly a couple generations, he thought. So it's definitely got that look of the warthog from when I got him before. That tip of the pepper there, it reminds me. So I'm gonna save the seeds to this, and I'm definitely gonna save the seeds to the Purple Wartrix here. So while I do that, I'll kind of just talk about on the live yesterday on Sam. You guys know him as the Pepper Poppy. He comments occasionally on my channel, but he has a Facebook Live that he does pretty much every day, or if not every day, every other day, or roughly. So I'm gonna do the Purple Wartrix first. I'm gonna cut it in half, save some of these seeds from it. Don't need to save a whole lot of them, but definitely smells good. No, let's see, put the knife down here. So it's got quite a few seeds in there, and a thick placenta there, and the lining to the wall looks pretty thick too. You can see, got some capsaicin on my fingers. I'm gonna take out a few of the seeds. I feel like I don't have room to grow it now, but I definitely wanna collect some of these seeds. I know quite a few other people that do the same. They'll collect seeds to peppers, and then they won't necessarily have the room to grow them yet. But definitely, it's just nice to have them. You know, if you come across them and you don't save them and then you wish you had later, it's definitely kind of like, darn, I should have saved them. And for those of you that don't know, the seeds contain very, very, very little capsaicin on the outside shell. They don't contain capsaicin of the pepper itself inside the seeds, just on the outside. So I definitely got quite a bit of capsaicin on my fingers though. So we'll have to wash them real good. And then I guess I can show the aftermath. You guys can see. So just a little bit of this side. Otherwise, the rest of the pepper is pretty much intact. Now I'm gonna save some seeds. You can already see some capsaicin and pepper on the knife there on the top. Right up there. It's definitely gonna be a hot pepper. Kind of cut this one open, I'm gonna probably save as many of the seeds I can from this one as possible, but yeah, it smells hot, real hot. That's quite a bit of thick wall lining. I'm gonna save, like I said, as many seeds as I can from this one, because I think it looks cool. It reminds me of the warthog. I think that it has some warthog genes in it. So why not save some creation that you might not get your hands on again, you know? This one might have a little bit of the placenta torn, just because most of the seeds are here and I don't have gloves on. And I mean, I de-seed without gloves sometimes, but after a video, I definitely don't want to touch my phone too much. When I'm de-seeding peppers, you know, I'll wear gloves if I'm handling a lot of stuff, or if I need to help the wife do some chores or activities, you know, or if I'm going to be going out of the house at the end of the night. I might not necessarily wear gloves. It all just depends, I guess, on what's going on for the day. But sorry to bore you guys. I promise I won't de-seed the other two. Try not to get my hands all, just because I'll be handling my phone and whatnot. And I do have a how I de-seed, what works for me video, specifically for when I'm de-seeding off camera. This is a on camera de-seeding, so it's a little bit different, varies from that. I think I got quite a few. We'll call that good. I can definitely grow a plant from that, but nose, I got some kind of allergies going on. But yeah, I can see, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera or not. You see the oils right there and right there on my hand? Maybe you can kind of see right here and like on this side of my finger. Anyway, I'll show this one more time. So we're gonna start, I don't know if you guys like it when I do videos like this or not, but I'm gonna start with the two milder ones and then work my way up on the heat, just so you guys can kind of see the difference in how I react to the different pepper varieties and their spice levels. So ahi charapita, I have not had the white variant. If it is, hopefully it's a little different tasting. Some kind of sweeter flavor maybe, or ahi charapitas are a really good flavor, and they're one of the more expensive kind of peppers. If you can get your hands on a bunch by a wholesaler, maybe they're not so bad. But Matthew was kind enough, he sent me so many of these. I'm gonna make a really good hot sauce, I think, or a mash out of these. And we're gonna just explore the possibilities of what it tastes great with on like everyday items, pizza, you name it. Comparing the two, I was kind of waiting to see which one I thought was hotter. I think the yellow one might be a little hotter, but the white one definitely had more flavor. It was really like a watery effect, like a watery sensation in my mouth. It just burst out with flavor, and it had a lot sweeter flavor than the ahi charapita. But don't get me wrong, they're both sweet peppers to me, but generally around, I don't know, 30 to 50,000 Scovilles, I think, off the top of my head. But I think that the white one was slightly less heat, and it could vary from pepper to pepper and plant to plant, but it had a much sweeter taste. It was a much bigger burst in my mouth. I almost felt like a mini apple that I bit into. So I had like just this explosion of juice come from that pepper when I ate it. So then we'll do just the regular War Tricks, and we'll cut this in half and let you guys see it. Wasn't anticipating on doing this one, but we'll do it anyway. So, take out a couple of these seeds. Got some capsaicin. Taking out a couple dark seeds here. Ooh, I just poked myself with that knife into my hand, got capsaicin into the hand. Ooh, it's stinging. There's just a couple black seeds. I'll show you guys if you don't believe me. I just don't like eating those. You can eat them. These are probably perfectly fine, and it happens to some peppers. Totally normal. But I just don't want to end up getting any kind of sick, like from, and it probably wouldn't cause any kind of sickness. All right, I get so many emails across my phone now on the screen. So that's the War Tricks, just a regular one, the red one. I could be wrong. This could be a purple one. There's a little darker on some of these, and it's got a thick wall lining there. So we're gonna eat this one and kind of see the difference between the purple or the darker one and the more red one. Wonder if you can tell inside. Do a side by side. It looks a little redder on this one. I don't know. These could both be purples. I could be wrong. But we're gonna do 2 purples then if they're both purple. So cheers, everybody. War Tricks. So, the War Tricks has super good flavor. If you haven't had it, highly recommend, if you can handle super hot peppers, to get some War Tricks or grow it out yourself. That's what I was talking about on my finger. You guys see it right there? A knife, I stabbed it when I was cutting that pepper open. It's stinging from the capsaicin. Anyway, get yourself some seeds. Great pepper to grow out. I'm growing some War Tricks, and I'll probably see if I can't start some of these purple War Trick seeds, to be honest. That one tasted a little different. It might have been a purple War Tricks than the War Tricks he sent me earlier in the season. So those ones, a lot of them went towards dried powder, or I made a hot sauce batch to my liking, a little bit more acidic, had apple cider vinegar and some salt and, you know, just generic stuff. But this one is actually burning a little bit under my tongue, which is kind of an unusual burn for me. And then also a little bit on the roof of my mouth and the top of my tongue, from like the midsection of my tongue forward, which is kind of more of a tongue burn for me, which is weird because just the other day, I think I mentioned on the live, possibly didn't mention this, on the live with Matthew and Sam, aka the Pepper Poppy, we had spoonfuls of warthog mash. We did 5 of them over the course of, oh, I don't know. The first one we didn't do it for very long, but we didn't do one right after, but the number 2 and 3 we did consecutive, and then about 5 minutes later we did 4 and 5, and Matthew wanted us to do 6 and just keep going, but we kind of called it there. Definitely warthog mash. It was delicious flavored. Can't say it enough. And I can't thank Matthew enough for sending me that. But it was just like a nice burn towards the back of my throat, which I don't get a huge throat burn from many peppers. So it's kind of nice to get a different kind of burn from like the warthog. That's why it's such an exciting pepper to me anyway. And I know just seeing Sam's reaction to it, he gets more of a burn on the roof of his mouth, he was saying, and his tongue. Maybe even his gums. I can't remember on the live exactly, but he said his lips burned too. Everybody's a little different. So, I should say, flavor profile, it was a very sweet pepper. The War Tricks to me is always kind of sweet. It's probably because one of the peppers that was made, I think it's called the Urfa Biber. Maybe the genes, I haven't had that pepper by itself, but the genes, I'm thinking, kind of coincide with some sweetness maybe for me. Great tasting pepper. Maybe like around 1.2 million, 1,100,000, roughly, that last pepper I had. So I'm going to get into this one. This one's a little juicier. Kind of got a seed lodged in the back of my throat. Whew. Okay, hard to talk when that happens, but that one had a little bit of bitter and sour notes to it. Kind of started off really sweet, had that really crunchy apple texture like the first one, but this one had a lot more bitter notes. Maybe it's because I left more seeds in it, but it definitely, these peppers are making my nose run, so don't kid yourself. They're hot. I just have a higher tolerance than maybe the average person that eats hot sauce, like cayenne level and below. Even ghost pepper, these are a step above ghost pepper by like, that one I felt like was about 1.2 for sure. Maybe, this is just generic guesses for the Scoville. I'm not an expert by any means, just my opinion of what I thought it was. All right, so let's get to what I think is probably the hottest pepper here. We'll see. I think this has some warthog in it, so if I had to guess, this would probably be the hottest. And yes, it is a little mangled. I wanted to save the seeds. So I apologize to everybody that likes me to eat the pepper as is. In the future, when they grow out, I'll have plenty of these, hopefully. I mean, they're probably not stable, but something similar. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, cheers. A little late night burn. Just after having that warthog mash, this is burning so similar again. It just reignites that picture in my mind of the warthog when I ate it. It's a hot pepper. Burns my mouth a little bit for the first like 30 to 45 seconds, right? And then it'll so slowly creep towards the back of my throat, and then it just does this pulsating burn, and then it like almost takes off again a second time sometimes. So we'll see what this one does. My left nostril was running even before the video, and now this is kind of accentuating it. But great burn, great flavor. I haven't had a bad tasting warthog yet. The mash was delicious. God, I got to say, that was probably some of the best mash I've had, pepper mash. I know there's not a lot to pepper mash, but Matthew makes a great pepper mash. And Sam can attest to it. He thought it was delicious too. Heat, it's probably taken me up probably at like a 3 right now, 2.5. So it might not be initially as hot as that one warthog I had at the beginning of the year. That first one I ever had was scorching hot. And then the second one I tried, left all the seeds and stuff, but I was more accustomed to it, I think, after the first initial burn. But man, it was still hot. Definitely a hot pepper. And I know a lot of people are going to be growing them this next year because Matthew sent out all those seeds. So it'll be really interesting to see what people do with crosses and stuff. But I think he said it was like generation 8, the warthog. So it's pretty darn stable. And I know other people might have different variants of it. And they were selling it, or well, donating the proceeds they were supposed to be anyway. The burn kind of concentrated the back of my tongue more than my throat, a little bit on my throat. It's kind of climbing. It's kind of moving towards the back of my throat right now, but it hasn't quite hit its peak there yet. It's still kind of on the back of my tongue. As we speak, it is shifting, but definitely having a little bit different tendencies than a regular warthog, so that's kind of cool. A little bit more of a mouth burn incorporated too. But it's making my nose run. Don't kid yourself, it's hot. Flavor on it. So those of you, majority of everybody hasn't tried one yet, but it has underlying sweet bits to it. A lot of similarities to the Wartrix in flavor. But it also has that 7-Pot Primo like bite to it. So like when you initially take it into your mouth, a 7-Pot Primo, for me anyway, has a very pepper forward taste like you'd get from a Cayenne or something like that. But then it really shuffles into more of a sweet Wartrix taste, but you can still kind of feel like the 7-Pot Primo aspect of it, you know. So it's kind of descending, I think, actually, right now as we speak. As I'm speaking, I should say. Kind of gauging when I keep my mouth closed and don't talk where my heat level is. I think it's kind of descending. So it didn't last as long as a normal Warthog, so it makes me think that it has, like, my best guess, just based off the color on that one side, it was kind of purple. A little purple. Some kind of purple variant. My guess would be like Purple Gator Jigsaw. It had a burn similar to that, actually. The sides of my tongue and the front of my tongue burned longer than I thought it was going to burn. Which is kind of cool. Because I know it's really nice to get that throat burn from the Warthog. But something about eating a pepper that lights your whole mouth on fire and your throat kind of excites me. Because it's like you can just get every little aspect of the pepper or of a spicy food, you know, incorporated into your mouth. This is a fairly lengthy video, and I appreciate anybody who's sticking around. Black Friday sale on AC Infinity. If you use the code Keaton10, that's Keaton 10, it'll be in the description. You can still get, I think, up to 25% off if you use my creator code. So on any product. I personally bought a grow tent. I bought another grow tent. It's a 3x3. It's an all-in-one setup on AC Infinity. And I used a different creator's code, because I cannot use my own, unfortunately. But I bought a 3x3, and I got it, it was like $150 off, and it was free shipping. So you cannot beat that. It's crazy. Also, memberships are active. I don't have any members yet. I might do some member-exclusive content in the future. Haven't planned anything. Maybe some members-only lives. But that's a thing if you have a computer. Merch. We have so many great ideas. You have no idea. I'll try not to overload when we get the site up. But actually, I'm thinking I'm just going to do Teespring temporarily until maybe we work something out with Bonfire or another site. But I'm going to try and get some beanies too, but it'll probably be shirts only at the beginning of the release of some of the merch. You guys are going to be... You saw the shirt and hoodie had that original logo design. We got some stuff. Me and my wife have been diligently working off camera when the kids allow us to, and when we're not out eating or adventuring, you know. Sorry to ramble on, guys, but I think you guys will be kind of happy with some of the merch if you're interested in that. If you're not, it'll just be there for anybody who is. So, the heat's pretty much gone for me. Got some stuck in like my gums, but I mean, my mouth for the most part is done burning, and that was a great little late night snack. I didn't eat this one. I'm kind of going to save all the seeds to this purple Wartrix, I think. But it's kind of like a different phenotype. Makes me think that it's possibly not, like I said, 100% grown out to a Generation 8 and stabilized. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, please consider hitting that like button. Share this content with anybody and everybody that you think likes spicy. And subscribe if you're not. If you're new here, thanks for watching. And if you're sticking around and like an old-time subscriber, I really appreciate you guys. Once again, this has been another pod review by Keaton. Keep it spicy.